So for this video, I'm using the linear relationship practice worksheet. It's on the platform. If you want to follow along with the worksheet, just come ask me for one, or you can write it in your notebook. Either one's fine with me. Okay. So basically, what you have to do here is you have to match the graph with the equation. Okay. So before we start matching, I want to give you guys some information. So when we write an equation, right, we write it as y, or our total, a number, okay, equals mx. Your m, you remember how when we were writing equations and we were like, oh, we have a number equals a number with the x, like plus or minus a number? Remember when we kind of came up with that setup? Well, now we're adding some letters into these number spots, okay? So we have our y, which is our total. We have our m, which is called slope. You're going to look a lot more into that like next year, but that's your slope. That is your each, your every, your per, okay? Nothing new. We did that, okay, during equations. And then we're going to do plus your b. Now, this is what we're looking at today. Your b is what's called the y-intercept. Now, that's your one-time fee, okay? That's happening once. All right, and we talked about that. We looked at that. Now it just has a name, okay? But your b gives you a lot of information, okay? Especially when it comes to like matching. Now your b is your y-intercept. What the y-intercept is, and I need you to write this down, it's where the graph touches the y-axis, okay? Where the graph touches the y-axis. So when we look at a graph, right, if you have, that's your line, right, that we're looking at, your y-intercept is where it touches the y-axis, because this is your y-axis, okay? Where does it touch the y, okay? So when we look here, it gives us a lot of information. So if we look here, my y-intercept here is -1. My y-intercept here, or my b, is +1. Here it's +1. Here it's +1. Okay? See if you can find the graph that matches with this, because it's at a b of -1. So pause the video, see if you can figure it out. So if you notice, this one's the only one with -1. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look. So my y-intercept here, this is my graph. Right here. This is my y-intercept. They touch at this point, which is +1. That's not what I'm looking for. Then we go to this one. This is your y. This is your graph. They touch here. Nope, not -1. This is my y. This is my graph. Oh, look, it touches at -1. And this one touches at +1. So automatically, I didn't do any work. Okay? All I did was look at the y-intercept, and I can match a graph. Okay? Now, another thing that we can look at when we're talking about linear relationships and equations is your x, okay? If you have a positive x, that means your graph is going to go in an upward direction. If you have a negative x, it is going to go in a downward direction. And what you can do is you can use your left hand, okay? You can go downwards, that's downwards, with your left hand, like outline the graph. If it goes up, it looks like that, okay? So if I look here, my x is positive, my x is positive, my x is negative, my x is positive. So we have one that's a negative, so we're going to have one that's different. Well, if I look here, oh, this one's going in an upward direction, okay, because my hand's going up. Use your left hand, do not use your right hand. If I look at this one, oh, wait, I have to bring my hand down. It's going downwards. That means it's going to be negative, okay, because it's going downwards. This one we're going to use, so it's not that one. And this one is going in an upward direction. So the only one that's going in a negative direction or going down is this one right here. So automatically, I can match that one, and I didn't do any work. Okay? Now, the next one. We have two left, okay? We have this one left, and we have this one left. So now we are going to plug it in, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to find some points on our graph. So if we look at this one, I want to find a point on this graph. Now I want to find a good point. I don't want like a point like this. I don't know where that is, right? It's in the middle of the thing, of the box. I have no idea. So I'm going to find something like in a corner, okay, where two boxes intersect. So if I look on this graph, we're going to go, let's see. Oh, it intersects. Oh, here, that's a good intersection point right there. Let's see, where else does it intersect? This one, I don't know what point that is, so I'm not going to pick that one. Oh, look, this one's another good one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to write the coordinate. Remember, you write your coordinates x, comma, y. So on this point, the x for this point is 1. The y for this point is 4. Now I'm going to plug it in, all right? That is what I'm going to do. So if we look at this one. Actually, let's do this one first since there's no fractions, and I know y'all don't like fractions. So my point is 1, comma, 4. That's what we wrote up here. And my equation is y equals 3x plus 1. So where I see my x, I'm going to plug my x in, okay? So we have 3 times my x, which is 1, plus 1. Well, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 equals 4. And look, that's what I wanted, okay? So you can try another one just to make sure it's going to be right, but there you go, okay? And now we're going to check this one, and we're going to check it just to make sure that these two are going to be related to each other, okay? Just to make sure. So we're going to check one. So I'm going to look. So I'm going to look to see where does it intersect. Oh, look. Here, this is a good one, because that's at a quarter. This one is not a good one because we don't know where point that is. That could be 1.5, 1.7. Like, we don't know what that is, okay? Oh, this is another good one. And, oh, this is a good one right here. So you can pick any of those points to plug it in, all right? You can pick anything. I'm going to pick this one right here. So this right here, my x is 3 for this point, and my y is 2 for that point, okay? So 3, comma 2. And so we're plugging it into this equation, all right? So it's a fraction, so pay attention. We're using the point 3, comma 2, because that's the one we found. Now, if you want to use any of these, those will work also, okay? But I'm going to pick this one. And then there's no reason I'm picking this one, okay? There's no specific reason. I just decided that one. My equation is y equals 1/3 x plus 1. All right, so this is my x. That's where this is getting plugged in at. So we get 1/3 times 3 plus 1. You don't do anything with the y because that has to be your total, all right? That's what you're trying to equal it to. Now, when we multiply by a whole number, put your whole number over 1, okay? And then you are going to multiply across, okay? 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Then we have this plus 1. Well, 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. Plus 1 is equal to 2. Oh, look, that's my total. So this one goes here, okay? All right, if you have any questions, I need you to come ask me. Don't just sit there and wait, all right?